Hello. I hope everyone is doing well today. So it is the 30th of August 2024, the last Friday of the month. I'm hoping for a bit of a trend day today. So we've got the EU session coming up in about 2.5 minutes time. We had a relatively good day yesterday. I've got the video that I need to post for the EU session yesterday that I've just cut down and edited to basically just show the trades. I need to do like a little bit of a voiceover just explaining what was going on and my thoughts therein, and then I'll upload it so that I can get it off my hard drive and onto YouTube servers. Free up a bit of space on my hard drive. So we are business as usual this morning. Going to be looking at potential first bar negative in FTSE, first bar positive. Well, you see, I suppose that's the nice thing about the way that that I'm trading at the moment is regardless of what is going to happen in the FTSE off the open, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Had a bit of bad luck in the FTSE yesterday with the first bar negative because it was a perfect first bar negative and it came probably within 2 or 3 points of filling the bar order, and it rallied up a good 20 points, so we missed that one. So yeah, like I was saying, the nice thing about the way that I trade is regardless of what happens here, I know exactly what I'm going to do or what I need to do. So there's nothing left to guesswork, I suppose. Okay, so we got about a minute to go. There is a lot of news today. We've got CPI in Europe, and we've got we've got PCE in the US. That'll be at 4:30, just before, about an hour before market open. So I'll look at that. I might trade it. I don't know. I'll have to see. That is a very, very, very big bearish candle in the FTSE just before the open. That is interesting. I wonder what that's about. The news is only at, oh, look at it go straight back up. The news is only at 1 o'clock today, my time, so wonder what that was. Okay, so market is open. Wow, that dumped and then went straight back up again. No idea. That was a 18-point fall off of a cliff there. Not sure what that was about. Absolutely no idea, but I don't have to know. I just have to. No, I'm going to treat that. And that is by doing nothing right now. So in all likelihood, because of that, we're going to have a little moth. We're going to have a first bar positive. So that would call for a sell below the low of the first bar. positive open in the DAX. Okay, squeaky chair. Right, so just looking from a structure point of view, on the FTSE, so I believe so we've pushed above last week's high, and we've pushed up to yesterday's high, and now we've pulled back a little bit. Be interesting to see what goes on there. From a more recent structure point of view, we've broken previous highs there, and just there. Looking a little bit rangy here on the 5 minutes and kind of on the 15 minutes and the 30 minutes and pretty much the 1 hour. So but we know what we're going to do. Should we trade below the first bar's low, we're going to look to get short. That's our first bar positive. I'm going to look to get short there. 40 points is far too much. Thinking about 10 points will do it. Okay. See if we get full short. DAX does look poised to move a bit higher. So I think I want to be just above that high from a stop loss point of view. We get back above that. I don't want to be in it any longer. I wonder if the DAX is going to do to me what it did to me yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And that is take me in one direction before going in the opposite. Okay, so this position can sit for a long time. This specific first bar positive kind of setup isn't really time based. I mean, the market can trade for a good part of the day before filling the position, and that's okay. The setup allows for that. So the idea is that if we break the opening low, we tend to see lower prices from there. Doesn't matter where in the day that kind of transpires. So I'll just leave this position pending for the whole session. And if it gets filled, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay. If we continue higher, no harm, no foul. But statistically, if we see a break of the first bar's low, then we expect to see lower prices. Bit of a gap there. Looking like a little bit of a Wyckoff spring. Just looking at that, I would imagine higher prices to come. But let's see, time will tell. So that happened upon a sudden. I wonder what was going on there. This bar just before the open. Because in FTSE terms, that is a lot of range on one bar, especially just before the open. Three positive bars so far in the DAX. We are hitting a little bit of structure here. Could be acting as some resistance for us. Be interested to see if we can break that. I would then expect to see at least a test of this high, perhaps a push beyond. Yeah, so last Friday of the month, lots of news. We'll see what effect it has. So 1 o'clock is when we need to be aware. Well, 1 o'clock is what we need to be aware of during the EU session anyway. Okay, so here's our setup bar in the DAX. Okay, so this will be for the aggressive. Quite a positive showing so far in the DAX. Steven's barking at something. Okay, so also a potential bit of resistance that we're sitting on now with the FTSE. Again, interesting to see if we can break above. I would like the prices obviously to go lower here because that's what I've set up for. So Very positive in the DAX. We'll see how that translates. And FTSE's recovering after this big bearish candle. Okay, so relatively neutral on the signal bar. Not the greatest sign. 5 seconds left. Yeah, so that's a pretty neutral candle. That can go either way. So we're going to take both sides just like we usually do. And then hope for the best. This candle just breaking previous lows. That would typically signal to me a bar signal. Let's see. Okay, so we got about 19 points worth of risk here on this aggressive side. $9.10 is our entry. We're at 9.7 at the moment. 9.07. Will be triggered long momentarily, I think, in the DAX. Just watching the FTSE. Yeah. So that's why I say just a price just broke the previous bar's low, and now it's moving up again. So that would have been a bar signal. How far it goes, that's a completely different question. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be taken long in the DAX any moment now, unless it turns around. And does what the DAX does. I'm not unhappy with a long position. Yeah. We are at previous highs currently, but we'll see. I'd look for a retest of these highs here. And if we were to break lower, okay, well first a test over here I would say, and then further to that over here. Lower, I would say the most previous swing low here. If we can break that there and perhaps even retest lows of the day, we'll see. So DAX has pulled back. FTSE, if I was long when I said it looked like a good place to be long, we'd be probably 4 points or so. Nothing too spectacular there. Looking for a little short move. Long in the FTSE like that, I would probably have increased my position size. Probably $2 a point or so, because I would have a stop loss only about 5 points away. Last 5 minutes before the traditional sets up. Right now it's looking like those levels are going to be identical. Looks like we're going to be taken long. Yeah, so all likelihood looks like we'll be filled long. Yeah, so that would have been a nice long position there in the FTSE if I'd listened to myself again. Damn it. Oop, that was close. Okay, so we're long. Right, so DAX aggressive long. Full price 18,910. Let's see if we can get a rally out of the DAX here. Let's just move this short side stop loss to a point where we can see what's going on with our P&L. Hey, FTSE just touching the top of this area here before pulling back. Right, so from a profit point of view, we're going to look at 929 area. That puts us just at these previous highs. I would expect to see perhaps some sellers up there. That put us at about 19 points worth of profit. But I mean, we could see higher prices. I might just manage it when if we get to that level. Struggling a little bit to push higher here. And our school run has set up, which we would have been taken long as well in the DAX. That's already triggered there. So if the school run was a little ways off, I would look at potentially adding, but that's a bit close to add now. I want to see a little bit of distance between first and second entry. If I was to add, that way it can kind of average out. Right, so school run in the FTSE. I don't traditionally trade school run on the FTSE. It doesn't really apply as well. But that would call for a long position at about 417, a short position at about 403. Okay, let's focus on our DAX trade. Alright, so there's the position. If we get to 10 points in profit, I'm going to look at decreasing the risk to about 900. Get to 20 points, I'll look at break even. I'd like to see the FTSE play the same game here, with it looking a little bit more negative. I'm hoping that doesn't translate to the DAX. So not the strongest breakout. Maybe it's just coiling up before shooting. That's the hope anyway. Come on, DAX. Decrease a little bit here. Maybe too soon. Can always move it back down. Very positive bars. I'd expect to see some sort of pullback soon. I'd like to see continued follow through here though, but I'd expect to see some sort of pullback. That's nice. Okay, so we can start looking at reducing our risk. The question would now become, if we do see a pullback, how severe? That's lovely. See a bit more and then I'll look at moving stop loss to break even. So we should be coming up, yeah, so we're coming up to these highs now. This is a bit of a decision point. So I think at this level I'm going to move the stop to break even, because we may see a turnaround at these highs. I would imagine there to be some sellers in this area. Just above here and here. Let's wait and see. Yeah. We've got 4 minutes left of this 15-minute candle. How is the FTSE looking? Looking pretty strong. Well, no, scratch that. It's not looking anything at the moment. DAX is looking pretty strong. So yesterday we had a case where the DAX rallied about 20 points in our favor before coming back and stopping us out. So I'm going to be mindful of the ranges of these candles here. We've got about 16 points at the moment. Three minutes left of this candle. Nice. I wanted to look at this area to start taking profit. If I get another push up, I'll probably look at closing it. It's a little bit of a stutter step there off of that level. Come on, Daxy. Push, baby. Starting to battle a little bit here. It's just a normal, it's just a pullback. Let's see if the buyers can keep it going. Keep the momentum going. Take profit here. And just as I take profit, it pushes higher. Goodness, do you know how many times that has happened to me? I swear. But essentially, I'm just looking at these areas here. I would imagine there would be some sellers there. We could, in all likelihood, keep pushing higher to here, but I'll take the points. Kind of once bitten, twice shy, but I've had it happen to me a few times in the DAX where we get a very strong pullback after a candle like that. It happened twice yesterday. Once to the short side and once to the long side. So I didn't want that to be the case today again. I believe it was somewhere around here. I think I was short there. Somewhere, I can't remember. So. Okay, so that's 18.5 points there on that DAX aggressive. And that has put us very, very close to wanting to be at 1,000. But there's still a bit of trading to do today. I've got brunch break that'll set up. I've still got the short position in the FTSE. So I think that's the little bit of sellers that have come in just above these highs that I was expecting. You know, at this point, whether we get a retracement back down, or if this is maybe a little bit of profit taking for those who bought in this area here, we see a less severe of a retracement before a continuation to around 970. Who knows at this point? Fact of the matter is, we knew beforehand where we were going to look at taking profits. So we had a plan there. And by the looks of it, it seems to have paid off, because I think, yeah, we would have been taken out for break even on this next bar. So DAX doing what the DAX does and has been doing, to me specifically. It gets me about 20 points in profit, and then it turns around and stops me out for break even. So just based on the range of the previous candle, I figured that's something to look at, but also the previous structure, with there being a high likelihood of sellers being in this area here. And yeah, that was for the win. I'm going to remove the sell side of this for now. Just going to observe a little bit. But DAX is looking good, looking strong. I think if we can get to this high, we'll see new highs. Alright, so quite a deep retracement, but it's pulled back a fair amount now. Okay, so the buyers are quite dominant today in the DAX. So sellers pushed it all the way back down near the open of this kind of breakout candle. But then the buyers kind of pushed it back up. I wouldn't say this is a breakout candle, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but essentially the last candle, last 15-minute candle. Yeah, so sellers pushed it down, buyers pushed it straight back up again. That's a pretty bullish indication. So yeah, very strong. So we're on our way to Thursday's high by the looks of it. We'll see if we can push beyond that. So a little bit of scenario analysis. Again, not my research, but basically, if the price on Friday isn't able to get above the highest price on Thursday, then there's a high likelihood that Monday we will see lower prices. So that's based statistically. Over God knows how many weeks that bit of research was conducted over. But it does, in my test of it, it does seem to hold water. So that's one thing to kind of remember, is unless you've created your own edge and your own strategy, in which case you should let me just swap over here quickly, so I like to talk to myself. In which case, if you create your own strategy, you should obviously back it up with a lot of research and a lot of testing. Not just back testing, but also forward testing. Forward testing is just as important, if not more important, because it's very easy to look at historical data and say, yeah, I would have sold here, I would have bought here, and in hindsight have it look as though the trade went exactly the way that you called. But forward testing as well, because obviously you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and if your strategy still holds up during forward testing, then you know that you have got an edge. But the point that I was trying to make was, if you're adopting a strategy and if you're adopting a philosophy within the market, it's important not to take it on face value, but to actually go and do the same research that the strategy or the edge itself is based on, to verify for yourself. And that's, again, not just back testing, but also forward testing. That way it builds confidence within the adopted strategy. So it's not just someone telling you, do this and do that and works, and then you just go and put money on it. rather take the time. If you discover something that resonates with you, take the time and do the back testing, but also do the forward testing to see kind of how the strategy holds up. And like I say, when you do the forward testing on the specific edge or strategy, it creates confidence in it. So next time that specific setup kind of presents itself, you've got enough confidence in the edge or the strategy to take the trade without question. And as soon as you see that setup, you in. So I think that's an important thing to do. So don't just take a strategy on face value. Actually go and back test and forward test it for a decent period of time before you start investing in it heavily. And forward testing, I mean, you don't have to necessarily do it with the live account. Obviously, from a psychological point of view, it's more advantageous to do it on a live account because on a demo account or a simulated account, you haven't got the same emotional connection to those funds in the account than what you would if it was actual money. So I mean, you can forward test it on a demo account. That's fine. I always think that a demo account is good if you are starting out on a new platform and you're trying to figure out how the platform works. Otherwise, there's no reason to be on a demo account when trying to hone your trading skills, because your analysis side and your psychological side, they work hand in hand. And if you are testing a strategy on a simulated account, it's easy. It's there's no psychological aspect to it because it's not real money. There's no real sense of loss or gain when trading on the demo account. So if you've got a strategy and you're looking to forward test it, do it on a live account, but obviously don't do it with huge size. Do it with the smallest position size kind of possible. And when you see if you see a good return from the strategy, then look to start trying to increase position size kind of into the future. But build that confidence with the strategy first, and build the ability to take the position without hesitation and have the psychological backup already in place from having tested it on a live account. Because then the only psychological barrier that you're going to be having to overcome at that point is the position size. So, and when it comes to position size, kind of the general accepted, well, not accepted, but the general kind of idea is have a position size trade with a position size relative to your account that keeps you just uncomfortable enough in your emotions and your psychology. Don't do it where if the market moves a point, you're going to have a heart attack, but do it just so that it keeps you concentrated on the trade. It kind of keeps you alert, because it's the analogy of if you're driving down the road at 40 kilometers an hour, you can be listening to the radio, you can be talking to your mates, and you don't necessarily have to concentrate as hard driving at that speed. But if you were driving at 120 kilometers down the road, suddenly having a chin wag with your best mate becomes a little bit more difficult, because you find yourself having to focus a lot more on the driving itself. So kind of same with your position sizes. If it's too small, you don't treat it as serious, you don't concentrate as hard. But if it's just at the point where it's becoming relatively uncomfortable to you, you'll find yourself focusing a lot more on the trade, and probably you'll end up managing it a hell of a lot better than if it was a small position size that was meaningless to you. So that's kind of just my 2 cents. None of that is original thinking, by the way. That's everything that I have learned over however long The day that I come up with something original, I'll let myself know. But for now, that's what I got. So I was just reading an article. Okay, how are we doing here? I don't know if FTSE's going to get back down. Excuse me. So we've got more of a bullish move here in the FTSE. Where previous to this bit of consolidation, we've seen um, a bit of a bullish trend, consolidation, and perhaps a continuation of that trend. Time will tell. I am betting on the short side, short term, obviously, but be interesting to see if the FTSE sees higher prices. Oh, that's good. It's not the most comfortable of chairs. Got news coming out in about 50 minutes. So pretty congested in the FTSE. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bit of an internet drop there, sorry. A little bit of an internet drop. Right, so we got about 40 minutes until the news. Necessarily want to be in any trade when that does come out. We've got another 23 minutes or so before the brunch break sets up. That puts us very close to the news. That may cause us some issues. We'll see. FTSE's looking very congested. This range here, it can at this point kind of go either way. I'm betting in this case for lower prices, but it can go one way or the other. So that's the only trade that we've taken so far today. In this session, anyway. FTSE's still got a long way to go before it fills us, about 10 points. There's a few news events coming out in about 6 minutes in the UK. They aren't red folder events, but they are yellow folders. Mortgage approvals, lending to individuals, money supply. Don't think they'll have a very big impact, if any at all. But yeah, it's the CPI at 1 o'clock that I've got to keep my eyes on, and that's in Europe. That could throw us around a little bit. Yeah, that's about 35 minutes time. So again, it puts us very close to the brunch break setup. We've still got 5 minutes left of this candle, and then we've got an additional 15 minutes to wait. So that puts us very close to the news. Don't really want to be trading that. I can look at trading after the news, however. Let me just look here. Why does it open up there? Yeah. Itchy ear today. What's nothing going on at the moment? just observing. DAX still poised to move higher. So we've tried to move lower on 3 occasions here, and it was just pushed straight back up by the buyers. So a pretty strong bullish indication there. So there again is a pretty reliable signal. In this case, we have consecutive higher lows, as we see here. So we've got higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then on this bar, it just breaks the low of the previous candle before moving back up again. If it closes close to its high, that is it's about as reliable of a bar signal as you can get. So having a look at where it's closed here, I would have liked to have seen it close a little bit closer to its high, but that to me would still indicate a bar signal. Whether or not it would work on this occasion, have to swing the bat. But I am currently just observing, because we've got news coming out. Sometimes we can get a little bit wishy-washy before news. So well, I suppose not. In fact, if anything, the opposite of wishy-washy. We get kind of bogged down in like a consolidation area. Everybody's just waiting for the news to come out before anything really goes on. So wishy-washy, I suppose, because it's up and down, up and down, up and down. So I guess I could use that analogy. So yeah, and that's essentially the day that we are having in the FTSE at the moment. We've got just a whole lot of consolidation going on, and congestion. It's basically just up and down, up and down. So we had a big move down, followed by a big move back up again, and now we're just kind of stuck in the middle. Yeah. So I suppose there is another example of what I was talking about. We've got consecutive higher lows, right? Then we have these two bearish candles. This one obviously closing below the low of this candle. It wouldn't be a good signal, because look at where it closes. It closes right on its low. The next candle, however, just breaks the low of that candle and closes right on its high with a nice positive candle, and we saw continuation up. It works obviously both ways. I'll see if I can find a example of it to the short side. I suppose there's an example. So we've got consecutive lower highs. Then we've got this candle here. Alright. Then we've got this candle which kind of breaks the high of the previous candle and closes right on its low. And then we have a breakdown. We do have this positive candle after it, but if we're looking at taking this trade, our stop would be above this candle here. So we would have been okay. A little bit of pain, but we would have been okay before it continued down. Sort of another example there. We would have seen a bit of pain, maybe just not stopped out, but it did continue lower. Good example here to the upside, consecutive higher lows. We have this candle break, okay, but it closed right on its low. The following candle broke the low of that candle, closed on its high, and we saw continuation. I guess another example over here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. This candle broke that candle's high, but it closed relatively close to its high. The second candle broke that high, but closed on its low. And then we saw a continuation to the downside. Obviously, you need a little bit of context beforehand. You want to see some consecutive lower highs or lower lows. Lower highs or higher highs. I think I've been saying lower highs this whole time. I meant higher highs. So yeah, there we go. You would see it there. So we just broke, this candle just broke the low of this candle. That would be a buy signal in my book. Right, this is the brunch break bar. It's setting up. Higher lows, higher highs. I always get a little bit confused. Now I don't know what I've said. But these are higher lows that we would be looking at. And on the other side, it would be lower highs. So yeah, I get a little bit tongue-tied and a little bit confused when I'm hers and hers. So and now if you'd kind of bought on the close of this candle, you would only be about 3 points in profit, but it kind of sets the idea. Stop loss would be below the low of this candle, about there. Doesn't work every time, but it is a good indication for a buy or sell signal. A good example of a buy and sell signal. Yeah, I'm talking rubbish today. This is just consolidating. Sorry about that, just a quick bathroom break. Okay, so 50 seconds before brunch break. But yeah, like I say, that puts us very close to the news. Puts us 15 minutes before. I don't want to be in a trade when the news comes out. I don't know if I even want to keep this order around while there's news potentially coming out. So, not potentially coming out, imminently coming out. But it's the potential of the impact it has on the market that concerns me slightly. Okay, so here comes brunch break. It's probably going to be long. There it is. And it is long. Not so close to news. Not so close to news. I may look at trading the rule of 4 after the news, but I don't think I'll do that on stream because there's a little bit of a wait before then. So okay, well there we go. If just looking at that long position that I was talking about, you'd be in about 8 points of profit now. So one would start decreasing their risk, I think. I'd move my stop loss from just under this bar to perhaps just under the open of this bar. That would put you at about 3 points of risk. Gonna stick this in there just to see, but I won't set the trade just yet. Maybe under the low of this bar, not the close. Maybe just under the low there. So I'll stream until the news. See the reaction that we get out of it, and then I'll call it a morning. I've got some business documents to start compiling and writing up, so I've got a little bit of work to do. So just the one trade today, it seems, during this live stream session. Looks like FTSE's on its way back down to test these lows. See if it gets there. So if stop loss was placed there, we would have been stopped out, unfortunately. So perhaps a better place would have been underneath this low. So we would have decreased our risk by a good 5 points or so. So that's the only thing about trading with a tight stop losses. The likelihood of you being stopped out is high, but at least it's for a small amount. You can see all of the news there. I was just watching something while I'm waiting here. Trading related, but just so true. Talking about uh, trading gurus in the industry at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, so we're pushing back down to these lows, and the reason that I don't want to have this trade set just before the news is the possibility of it filling the order and then reversing back up because of the news. The brunch break long is in a bit of trouble at the moment. So we're right on this previous high. Let's see if that is how strong that area is. I mean, look at that. In the DAX. So we're at kind of all-time highs here. Testing the highs of the all-time high. Okay, so there we go, getting down to the lows now. Again, it's 2 minutes until news time, so I'm a little bit apprehensive to have a trade going on at the news. We could hit this level and rally. So, but we could also hit that level and continue down, but it is one way or the other. So I'd rather just let the announcement come out and see. If I was in a position already and I had my stop loss at break even, then I'd leave it. Because the worst case scenario there would be the market would turn around and stop me out for break even. So no harm, no foul. And on the flip side, it could move further into profit. But if I'm not in a position before a news announcement, I'm not going to have one set up beforehand. DAX coming back up now. Alright, 45 seconds to go. Let me bring up Forex Factory and just have a look at what the outcomes are for this CPR. So if we get above this at 18,971, we're seeing new all-time highs, I believe. So there we go. News is out. Waiting on the results. Okay, well, there we have it. The results still pending. Okay, it's out. So it is the same as forecast. So the previous was 2.6%, the forecast was 2.2, and the actual was 2.2. So pretty much what everybody expected. So not a huge impact there. But oh, there we go, now it's starting to come through. So yeah, you can see the dangers there. As an example, we were taken in and we've moved off of it. Could still come down. It's only 2 points in the FTSE. So not a very big impact in the DAX. Okay, so brunch break is looking a bit better now. The DAX looks as though it wants to move higher. It's like almost screaming to move higher. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. DAX is moving. FTSE's got a little bit bounce off at the bottom of this range. I wonder if it'll continue. Yeah. But okay, so there's the potential danger of trading just before the news and having a position pending. Phew. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. Just the one trade today during this session. 18 points. 18.5 points, nothing wrong with that. Not very exciting, I know, but it's not supposed to be exciting. We're here to make money, not to provide entertainment. Yeah, so FTSE's bouncing off of that level. Whether that has anything to do with the news that came out, or it's just that it's respecting this level, who knows? I don't. But yeah, DAX is starting to rally further. Okay, cool. So yeah, that'll do it for the European session. I was patient, just took the one trade, wasn't very aggressive today, but that's fine. It is Friday. We'll take it easy. And yeah, I think well, we'll see what happens in the US session. We'll have a look at what the ranges are like and just trade it accordingly. So yeah, that'll about do it. Okay, I'm going to end the stream here. So thanks very much.